Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Love to Live Healthy Show. I'm Josephine Fitzpatrick, author of Cheat Day Rules, available on Amazon. I'm a weight loss nutrition specialist for over 15 years, and I work with thousands of clients all over the world. I'm the owner of Innovation Healthy Market at 8025 Jericho Turnpike, Woodbury, New York, where for the last 12 years we sell hundreds of prepared meals and snacks. We are open to the public 7 days a week. You do not have to be a client to shop in our store. We have customers from all over Long Island visit our store every day, and we ship tri-state. We also offer free delivery for Long Island every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we hand deliver to New York City every Tuesday. And we are on Uber Eats 7 days a week. So if you're looking to lose weight or just eat healthy, come and visit our store. Everything is made fresh daily, and we carry everything from high protein, low carb, gluten-free, sugar-free, plant-based vegan, keto, and our famous detox. Someone is always available to help you at the store. They will hold your hand to help you get what you need. Don't hesitate to ask them when you walk in. For more information on our store, delivery, shopping, and weight loss, visit our website, innovationhealthymarket.com, or check out our Instagram at Innovation Weight Loss. Today I'm here with Jake Fitzpatrick. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning.
Today's episode is, are you struggling to lose weight? And if you are you sure why, or are you not sure why? Today we're going to talk about the 10 top things that could be sabotaging your weight loss. So now, one thing to remember, these top things that are things you can change. They're not necessarily things that, like, if you're on medicine or if you have health issues. These 10 top things that we are going to address are actually you sabotaging yourself with them. So let's start with the first one. Go ahead, Jake.
So the first one that we're going to talk about today is portion control, which we actually did an episode on portion control as a whole way back. But
right.
Basically, the summary of this is that we live in a supersized world, and when you're trying to lose weight, you are supposed to take in less than what you need. So it has to be smaller than a normal portion. Forget a supersized one.
Yes.
Meaning that the importance of this is that you only need to take in exactly the amount that you need in order to feel like you're satiated. You don't need to overeat. That's what the whole, that's the whole idea of overeating.
You should actually feel a little hungry because you have to take in even less than that. So, I think what we forget is that we're eating for weight loss, and when you're eating for weight loss, you have to expect to be a little hungry. Everyone's so afraid to be hungry today. They want to be so full, and then they walk away from a table and they're so full and they're like, oh my gosh, like I feel horrible.
Yeah. And
why would you want to feel like that? Of course, remember too, when you do feel a little hungry, it's just that you want more. You don't need more.
Exactly. Just like with like the portions that you see in our store, like in the storefront itself, like every time people see a meal in the store, they're always like, oh, wow, this is only one meal. And then they say either, wow, that looks like a big portion, or wow, that looks like a small portion. And sometimes they have like a little upset face when it's too small of a portion. But you know what? That's like one portion size that you should eat. And that's always the case. Like, if you have a cheat day and you want to like completely pig out and have whatever you want, yeah, you're going to feel like disgusting after because you overate all of the things that everything in sight. But keeping the portion size small is super important if you want to lose weight, because think about it, you take in less calories, then you'll not put on as many pounds.
Exactly. You're basically, when you're taking in less, your body has to feed off its own fat, and that's what creates the weight loss, know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do number 2, alcohol. I say this all the time. It's not the alcohol that makes you gain weight. It's what it makes you do that gains weight. You gain weight. Just like 2 drinks will take your driving skills away, 2 drinks will take your inhibitions that you have to lose weight. All of a sudden you feel like, I feel great. Like, I don't have to lose weight. And you start picking at everything. 3 drinks, you're just eating everything you can get your hands on. And I hear this from clients all the time. They'll say, like, if they have 2 drinks, by the time they get home, they're eating everything they would normally eat. So again, the alcohol is okay. You can use it as a snack, but really try to limit 1 drink, because this way you have control over what you're doing,
Yeah, no, exactly. And everybody too, everybody that, especially the clients, like everybody that has been, away to school or, has been, out with friends and stuff. everybody's number one move that they do when they get home from either the bar or anywhere is you go right into the fridge.
Yeah.
So
Cabinet.
it's like
Yep.
literally
Fridge,
into
pantry.
the fridge, cabinet, pantry, and you just get whatever you can get your hands on. Like, anything that they can throw in the microwave and heat up or anything. That's
so
why.
true.
That's why I always tell everybody, like, make sure that you put the PBJs in the fridge, because when you come home,
at least you're
you'll
grabbing
eat
something that's on program.
nutritious. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yep.
Number
But
3.
so now we're on to number 3. So it's stop eating in between meals. We always say follow your meals and snacks, nothing in between, because it's all the bites, tastes, and sips that make the difference. Yes, it's the bite of your kids' leftovers that you're cooking them for dinner, or the tasting while cooking or heating up food, anything that you have in between your meals that you shouldn't have. Don't have the mindset that it was just one bite or one piece or one extra cup of vegetables or even one extra vegetable itself, because all those little extras end up in an extra meal
By the time the day's
combined
done,
together by the end of the day, because all those little extra sips and all those little extra meals will end up being the size of one meal portion that you should have had throughout the day. And instead have it in your head that one bite or piece and you went off program. You have to structure your weight loss days. You have to follow your program 100%, because if you follow the 100%, then you will lose weight. And if you add any extras into your day, you are no longer maintaining that day.
No, you are not losing.
Yeah, you're not losing. So
You'll
you're no
be
longer
maintaining. So basically,
Yeah.
if you have a little extra, you'll go to maintaining. And if
Okay.
you have even more than that, you'll go to weight
Exactly.
gain.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you have even more than that, then you're ending up gaining weight instead of maintaining. So the 3 levels are gaintaining. So the 3 levels
Is that
are
new?
you're either gaining weight, you're either maintaining weight, or you're either losing weight.
Right, exactly.
So if you're eating the amount that you should be eating, like on a regular basis, then you'll just be maintaining weight. But obviously, if you go into like a calorie deficit and you're eating less than you should, then you're going to end up losing weight.
Right.
And then if you overeat, it's gaining weight.
Exactly. And I think something to add to that, which is why people always feel so hungry on a diet, any diet, because you're trying to lose weight. So you're eating less than your body needs. But, you started because you were gaining weight. That's why you wanted to lose weight. You're like, I'm gaining weight. I have to lose weight. But you go from gaining weight to maintaining to weight loss. So you're going from gaining, actually, to weight loss. So you're skipping the whole maintaining. That's why you always feel like you're starving when you're on something, because you don't realize, like, you had to cut your food back from gaining weight to maintaining. But that's not good, because you don't want to just maintain. So now you got to take it a step further and take it back a little bit more and for weight loss. And you have to do it consistently. That's why you always feel so hungry on when you're on any really weight loss program.
Yeah. And isn't it funny, too, that, like, when people are even maintaining weight, it's still hard?
Yeah, yes, it is. Exactly.
Because people are like, it's still different, and it's still going outside of the norm.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to overeating and everything.
100%. And that's really why the detox works so well, because it's so strict that you have no choice but to take in less. And that's why people see such great results from it. There's no in between, like, oh, I maintained today. You know what I mean? Okay, so what number are we on? Number 4.
Yep.
Going out to eat, which we did an episode on this as well. You can order any meal on program when you're out, whether it's grilled chicken, whether it's grilled fish, even a filet mignon, no butter. You just have to order it. You have steamed vegetables. You have to stay away from the appetizers. You have to think of it, it's like another meal on top of your meal. Remember, you're eating for weight loss. And I think through all our points that we're talking about, you always have to have that mindset that you're eating for weight loss. You have to go into any situation and you have to think, I'm eating less. So that includes no appetizers, no pieces of them, no half of them, no splitting them. You have your meal, you have steamed vegetables, and you're done. And that's it. And if you are having your one drink, make sure you're having it with your dinner. So your body's actually processing it with food, because if you have your alcohol before you eat, you are not going to stay on program when you're ordering. So that's another thing really to think about.
Yep. And then like we said in the beginning too, you're sabotaging yourself if you create these problems. So just like ordering a drink before you get your dinner, you're setting yourself up for failure, because everybody knows what will happen and what the outcome will be if you get a drink before dinner.
Exactly.
Because it'll just make you more susceptible to, giving into those urges while seeing.
And you're already hungry.
Yeah, and it's okay too if everybody else at the table gets an appetizer and they share it or
Absolutely.
something, or a garden salad or something. Just because even though it's a salad, remember, it's still overeating.
It's still extra food.
It's still extra food.
Exactly.
So now on to the next one. So on to the next one. It will be sitting all day. So a lot of our clients always tell us that they work from home and they have no choice but to sit all day. Regardless of your age, if you are sitting all day, it's like a slow death. Our bodies are meant to move, and they were made to burn energy. You are not doing that if you are sitting all day. So you have to make it an actual effort to put the movement in throughout the day. Ideally, at least an hour of exercise a day. And I know that we have said this before, but we really do believe that if you can do an hour of cardio one day, hour of weights, the next, it's better than splitting up each exercise. And it's better too, just getting the movement in. You don't have to do just cardio and weights on the same day. As long as you get one in,
Exactly.
It's extra movement.
Just move.
Yep, just move around. Yep.
Yeah.
Take the stairs instead of taking the elevator.
Exactly.
Take the stairs instead of taking the escalator.
If you are on the train, get off the stop before,
Get off the stop before. If you go into work, park in the furthest parking spot. Anything. Anything
true.
Extra will make a
it's
mile
just
of
movement.
difference.
Yeah, because we don't realize, we're really, think of the 24 hours a day. Even if you do put an hour of exercise in a day, that's still 23 hours that you're probably sitting a lot of.
Yeah.
On your phone, scrolling, whatever, working.
Yep.
It's just, and sleeping, you're just not moving, So
if you work from home, invest in one of those walking treadmills, like the desk treadmill.
A lot of people love those.
A lot of people do love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we on, number 6?
Yep.
Think about your want or your need. Okay, so we tend to eat out of boredom or anxiety much more than eating because we are actually hungry. So next time you go to grab for something, evaluate, where are you? Are you sitting in the kitchen? Well, then you're probably hungry. Well, are you hungry, or is it because you're sitting in the kitchen? You have to think about, do you really want this or do you need this? And I think when we come to terms with, like, most of the time we're grabbing out of want, not because we're actually hungry. I say it all the time. People never overeat because they're actually hungry. It's always out of stress, boredom. Once you really figure that out, that's when you'll know, like, okay, like, go on the computer and scroll for a bathing suit for the summer, or, maybe go shopping, or just get out of that mindset, go outside, go for a walk, anything out of that mindset to just think about food, because that's when you're going to want it, and you don't need it. So really think about next time you grab, before you grab and eat, do you want it or do you need it? And if you can walk away from it, because the more you do that, you're training yourself, you're training your appetite, you're training your stomach to need less.
Yep. And then anytime, like, me and you talk, I always tell you, like, I'm actually having trouble getting my meals in all day long, and you always look at me and say, well, you're in the store all day long. You're surrounded by food. How do you, like, manage to go the whole day without eating?
Exactly.
And it's so funny because I find that myself, personally, I'm most susceptible to being, like, giving into, like, the boredom snacks whenever I'm in the car. Like, if I'm stuck in the car and I'm driving, like, back and forth from the kitchens, the store, home, or whatever, if I find, like, a PB&J bite sitting on the floor in my car, it's gone in 2 seconds. But, like, I walk past the PB&J fridge, like, 3 times a day.
And you don't think about it.
I have no urge, no craving to eat it. It's at all. Because I'm
busy.
constantly on my feet. I'm busy. My mind is on different things. I'm helping clients out. I'm helping, Jeff out in the store or whatever. But, like, anytime I'm in the car and I'm, like, stuck in that one position, if I see anything next to me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm hungry now. It's like,
exactly.
So I'm not actually hungry, but it's like,
that's a want. Right, exactly.
It's a want. It's not a need.
So true.
It's me taking advantage of the access to it. But, yeah, now on to the next one. So number 7. So the mindset that you exercised so now you can eat more. It doesn't work like how it sounds. Just because you exercise does not mean that you need to eat more or you can eat more. it doesn't, the exercise has to be in addition to your eating, your portioned meals, your portioned snacks. That is what creates the weight loss. So it's the difference of, it's the age-old saying of like a means to an end. Just because you did the workout does not mean that you earn the right to overindulge in food.
Exactly.
So you need it goes hand in hand, because when you do the workout, your body then craves food because it needs to recover, and then it also adds to the weight loss because it's just basically a 1-2 process. But
right, and it adds to the weight loss only if you're not overeating.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the whole point of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I always say, think of it like this. If you are just dieting and you're really strict, but no exercise, you'll lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just exercising and not dieting, you will not lose weight.
Yep.
So that's where it should always show you that you have to have your food in check. No matter how much exercise you do, yes, you'll lose inches. Yes, you'll gain muscle. You'll probably get a little bit of mass because you'll get thicker because you're not watching what you're eating. But if you do both and you really put that exercise in and you're keeping your food in check, you will see that number go down consistently.
Yeah, and it's any athlete will tell you too, like any bodybuilder or pro athlete or even nutritionist will tell you, it's 90% what you do in the kitchen, 10% what you do in the gym.
Exactly.
And it's always been that way. Yeah.
100%.
Number 8.
The next one is number 8. Stop blaming everyone else for your weight gain. Everyone does this. It's so common. It's not your friends. It's not your significant other or your kids. They all may be bad influences, but you have to commit to what you want and stick to it. You can't say, I was out with friends. I didn't want to be that one person who ate healthy. Well, now guess what? You're the one person who gained weight. You have to make a choice. It's your life. You should never feel bad about wanting to better yourself, regardless of who it is in front of. Right?
Yep. That's exactly. I mean, the only way that I can attribute this to something that people can understand in a different way, because obviously everybody has their blinders on when it comes to this. It's like that old saying that, every mom or every dad has told their kid at one time, you don't have to drink at the party to be cool, and if you apply it that way, it's like, okay, maybe I'll even spark some change in my friend's life or my significant other's life, because if they see me putting the work in to better myself, maybe they'll want to do the same. It's not just because you're, participating in what everybody else is doing does not make it you're weird if you don't.
Right.
If anything, you should look at everybody and be like, you don't have to be like that guru health freak of why would you put that in your body and call them out at the table, but go halfway and say oh no, I'm cutting my portions down. That's it. You
want to be the good influence.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what you said the other day. I don't know why I just thought of this, but what you said the other day to one of the workers when he was going to the party. You go.
It's always.
You said, because you were telling him, don't drink and drive, don't do anything. He's a young kid. He's, what is he, a senior?
18.
And he goes and you said, it'll always be if you never do it, it's always the one that never does it that it happens to.
Yep. You could say all the time, I never do anything bad, I never do anything wrong, but the one time that you do, it'll always be you. And
it happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
That was such good advice to give him, though. I love that. Okay, you're next.
Number 9. So the scale, the old horrific tale of the scale. There's still, believe it or not, and this is just, it's so funny. Believe it or not, if you're listening and you still to this day don't check your weight, you're not the only one. It's amazing how many people, I never in my life have met so many people that are actually mortified to step on the scale.
So scared.
I literally step on it just out of curiosity. Whenever I'm in your office, I'll literally be like, let me check after I ate a quesadilla.
You and Jenna, Jenna, you'll just eat and you're like, let me see how much I weigh.
I'll
and I'm
literally
like,
step on the scale and be like, oh wow, 1.5 pounds, and then, so the scale itself. So stay off the scale every day. Don't obsess over it, because when you're trying to lose weight, your weight can fluctuate throughout the week, even if you are staying concrete to the plan. And when you are hungry and you get on the scale and it's a Tuesday night and it
Or
didn't move
morning.
yet,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to say to yourself, I'm so hungry, I'm trying so hard, I'm just going to eat, this isn't working? But if it does move and you lost 2 pounds and you happen to be going out for dinner that night, you then are going to say to yourself, I am down, I can have an extra this or extra drink or an extra appetizer. Either way, it's going to end up hurting you in the end. So try to stick to weighing yourself once a week, ideally the morning of your cheat day or meal before you have your first sip, your first bite.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get that idea in your head, it's just you're doing it for the wrong reason then, because it's like telling yourself like, no, I'm not going to drink this week, and then being like, oh, well, I did so good for the past 3 days.
Exactly.
I'll just have, I'll just have a shot tonight instead of a full drink. Still, you're doing wrong by yourself because you're not sticking to there's two pillars that go along with this, and it's the actual weight loss, but then it's the actual accountability. So instead of, you're building discipline,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And like you said, either way, you're going to hurt yourself. Like, listen, you should, like, as you started off, you should never not go on the scale and just, have your blinders on. Like, I don't want to know how much I weigh,
Yeah.
That's not good either, because you want to be healthy, even if you're not trying to
and you
lose
also
weight.
want to be proud of your work.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the other flip side, like you're talking about, don't go on every day, because it's definitely going to fluctuate. It can fluctuate from a bottle of water. I tell people all the time, if I drink a bottle of water, go on the scale, I'm going to be 2 pounds up.
Yeah.
Don't go on every day, but have your designated day. That's your progress. It should go down every week if you weigh every week, you know?
Even if you do the detox program, after you have the detox drink, the scale's going to go up.
Yeah, because it's
it doesn't mean that the
liquid.
detox program
it's water.
doesn't mean that the
Exactly.
program doesn't work. It's just because you're putting stuff in your body still.
And a lot of times that's our mindset, because we want an excuse. If you're feeling hungry, you're feeling weak, you're going to want that excuse to go off program. So if you get on, like you said, a Tuesday, Wednesday morning, you're like, didn't move yet. Well, okay, I'm going to eat because I'm starving and this isn't working. You're looking for that excuse, okay?
Yep.
The same thing if you see the weight loss and you're all of a sudden hungry, and you're going to say to yourself, oh, you know what, I can have that because, I'm doing so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to hurt
Yeah.
me. But it will, and you
It
will go back up, and then you'll regret it, or you just won't admit that you did it, whatever the case is. I'm just saying.
You know who you are.
Yeah, like, just stay off the scale. I mean, I do have clients who weigh every day and they report it, but they're reporting it to me. So they kind of have to, justify that weight the next day. Or if all of a sudden it went up, I'm like, okay, then you didn't eat only what you wrote me.
It's
you
like
know?
that saying that you told me. You were like, don't bring attention to your negatives.
Don't bring negative attention to yourself.
Don't bring
Yeah.
negative attention to yourself.
It's
like,
very
even
true.
if you know that you messed up. Like,
Don't talk about it. Move
don't
on.
talk about it. Move on.
It's such a great thing, especially weight loss. You had a mishap, just move on.
Yep.
Don't
Just
even bring
because
negative
you-
attention to
Just
it.
because you had an extra vegetable or something and your weight
Yes.
went up a pound does not
It's
mean that
okay.
you need to break
Move
open a
on.
bag of Doritos
Exactly.
and just say, oh, to hell with it. It's
Right.
like, doesn't mean that the whole plan is thrown off. It doesn't mean that the ship is sinking. You just move on.
Right. Just move on.
Yep.
Number 10, this is my favorite. I feel like so many people are guilty of it. Okay.
That's a great opener.
It's true, right? Don't be amazing Monday through Friday. Stay on program. Do fantastic. And then from Friday night to Sunday, you put it all back on. Because so many people do this. It's just so, I hear it all the time. The weekend is just a killer for people because, your plans change, your life changes. I get messages all the time like, my whole family's having bagels, what do I do? But you have your cheat meal, and that has to be enough while you're losing weight. Remember, everything you're doing is only to get you to your happy number. Okay, it's not forever. And of course, no, you can't go back to your bad habits once you get to your goal, but you can incorporate I'm going to have a bagel this weekend because I'm at my goal weight. That's okay, but you have to get there first. You can't incorporate those weekend cheats all weekend long and not count it and think you're going to be fine, because Monday morning, you're just going to start all over again. It's going to be the same thing from Monday to Friday. When people say, oh, I gained all my weight back. Well, then what were you doing all weekend? You have to really look and say, I was overeating, or I just, I consumed so much or a lot of little things all through the weekend, But if you gained through the weekend, you were not on program.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the only tips that I would give regarding this, because obviously you know better than I do because you actually work with everybody, but like always remember why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a wedding that weekend, if you have, your son's bat mitzvah, or, you have like a big event coming up for that weekend and you want to look your best, you don't want to look good just for the pictures. You don't want to
So
look
true.
good just for the memory of
Mm-hmm.
it, because then when people see you, they're going to be like, oh, you look different,
Yeah, right.
But remember why you're doing it. Keep reminding yourself why you're being disciplined with your food. Don't feel bad if you fall off. It's okay to slip up. And overall, focus on the consistency, not perfection, because nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Just focus on being consistent. Even if you, eat the same things over and over again, it can always help, avoiding that temptation going forward. So just do the best you can Monday through Friday, and then from Friday night to Sunday, just do your best.
Yeah, have your one cheat meal.
Have your one cheat meal.
And even, on the weekend, I think a great tip for people, which is what I tell clients all the time, if you find that your weekends are more struggling, then just, redo them and say like, okay, so Monday through Friday, I'm going to be extra good. So maybe I'll take in like one less snack during the week or one less meal, or I'll do the detox. But then on the weekend with my cheat meal, I will add an extra snack or an extra, because I know it's more challenging for me, but it's still an on-program snack. It's something that is still healthy, that is going to help you lose weight. Once you start going out of that, off that path, and you start grabbing things that you shouldn't be having, that's what's going to snowball into the weight gain again. And that's what you have to be really careful about.
Absolutely.
But I do love what you said. It's consistency. Everything is consistency. You can lose the weight. You can do it. You can reach your goals. Right now, it's so motivating with summer and the beautiful weather.
Yep.
Like I said, go online, go shopping, motivate yourself with something that you want to fit into, that you want to look great in, that will make you feel great,
Yep.
or just feeling healthy.
Yep.
It's all positive things, and you really got to stick with that positive mindset if you want to get to your goal, because it's hard. It's definitely hard. But you can do it if you just have to stay positive doing it. And you have to remember, this is something you want.
Yep. Remember why you started.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's something you want. So you have to remember, you're doing this for you. This is your choice. You are always in control of your results.
Yep. You're always in control of the positives, and you're always in control of the negatives.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep. Remember, every decision you make has consequences.
It's so true. And I say it
and
all
it will
the
come
time.
back to haunt you.
If
when
you're
laying
looking
in
for
bed at
excuses
night.
to go off, you can find excuses to stay on.
Yep, absolutely. That's true.
Okay. That's all we have for today.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. And please remember to stop in at Innovation 8025 Jericho Turnpike, Woodbury, New York, or visit our website, innovationhealthymarket.com, or call 516-802-5055. We're open 7 days a week and are always there to help you with your shopping, orders, or weight loss needs. When you come in, ask for me, Jake. I will be happy to show you around the store. Or if you are looking for a one-on-one plan, I can make your first free consultation appointment with Josephine. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.